Morning, morning, morning. We're still missing quite a few people, so I'm going to hang in there for maybe 2 minutes, 2 to 3 more minutes, and see if they show up. And in the meantime, does anybody have any questions? I guess everybody's half asleep still. Maybe even completely asleep. Okay. All right. Maybe we had some people that just slept in or forgot we had class or something. Because we're less than I think we've ever had. It's unusual. Okay. I get one last run through here and be sure I have everybody that's here. Okay. All right. So today what we're going to do is we have two more presentations, and then we're going to finish going over the proposal. I haven't had any questions when I asked, but the first 13 or 14 people are here, so maybe we're hanging tough. That's a good thing. So let's see. I think the first group that's supposed to present today is, come on, my computer's decided it's going to act up my second computer. Hang on. Right with you. Yeah, I don't know how many computers and none of them acting right. Okay, so the LinkedIn is the first group, group 4. Are y'all all here?
Yes.
Okay, and who wants to have the control of the
I can share
PowerPoint?
I can share my screen.
Okay, and Joanna. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Let me get up here and find you. All right. Okay, you got it.
Okay. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Back. Okay. Is everyone ready from the group?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Hello, everyone. For our social media presentation, we chose LinkedIn. First, we'll talk a little bit about LinkedIn, what it's used for, how to use it, examples of organizations using it, and lastly, the growth of LinkedIn. Now I'll go ahead and pass it on to Dulce.
Thank you, Joanna. So I'll be going over the background on LinkedIn. So basically, it's a social media platform in which it's employee focused, and it was launched on May 2003 by Reid Hoffman and Eric Lee. Today, more than 1 billion users, over 200 countries and regions have signed up for it. And it is basically a career advancement application for people of all professional backgrounds, whether it be a small business or an established company. And in the illustration, you can see most people who use LinkedIn come from United States and India. For a bit of statistics, about 13,000 people make connections per minute, 9,000 members apply for jobs every minute, and 7 people are hired every minute on LinkedIn. And I'll be passing it on to Jamie.
Thank you, Dulce. So what is LinkedIn used for? For starters, it's used for job searching, so you can post your CV, which is a document that details a person's academic and professional history, their education, work experience, and accomplishments. And then when you post that CV, you can then search for jobs by keywords or location. Secondly, it's also used for networking, where you can connect with others in your specific field, stay in touch with colleagues, and build professional relationships with them. Next is personal branding, where you can use LinkedIn to cultivate your personal brand and showcase your unique professional story. Learning is the next one, where you can learn skills to succeed in your career and stay up to date with industry news and trends. There's also content sharing or company promotion, where you can write articles, post photos and videos, and produce engaging content for your company. And then lastly, there's organizing events, where you can organize offline events for your company and or join groups. Now I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Nisa.
Thanks, Jamie. How can you use LinkedIn? Over 40 million newly graduated students use LinkedIn to job search, and more than 75% of recruiters use LinkedIn. Per the professor's assignment, we already made a LinkedIn account, but just as a refresher, creating an account is easy as 1, 2, 3. Here are a few tips to begin. Step 1, create an account using either a Google or an Apple account and upload a professional picture of yourself onto your profile. You want the picture to be centered, so maybe avoid uploading a selfie. Step 2, update your bio using your education and job history. And last but not least, step 3, connect with colleagues, friends, and your professors. You're now ready to job search. The key to utilizing LinkedIn effectively is to optimize your profile. So that means doing your part by taking on an internship and building your resume. Best of luck. Over here is a perfect example of how your profile picture should look. It's even LinkedIn CEO approved. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Giselle now.
Thank you, Nisa. So I'm going to talk about how LinkedIn can be used in hospitals, clinics, or any urgent care settings. To start off, it can be used to hire qualified healthcare professionals by posting job openings using LinkedIn's recruitment tools. It can connect with other healthcare professionals, industry leaders, and organizations to share knowledge and best practices. It also allows them to promote hospital or clinic services, achievements, and community involvement to build a strong online presence. It also allows them to share articles, videos, and update health topics and educate patients on the community. and to promote and participate in webinars, workshops, and online courses to ensure that staff stay updated with the latest medical advancements. To continue on, it also allows them to publish articles, insight from healthcare experts within the organization to establish credibility and authority in the field. It highlights community events, health affairs, and reaches out to programs to engage with local communities. It provides timely updates of information during health crises and emergencies to keep patients and the public informed. It encourages staff to share experiences and achievements on LinkedIn to enhance the organization reputation and attract top talent. And lastly, it partners up with healthcare organizations and professionals to collaborate on research and projects. So now I'm going to pass it on to Sarah.
Thank you, Giselle. So now we're going to go over hospital examples. Cedars-Sinai is one of the hospitals that use LinkedIn the most. They typically use LinkedIn for recruiting and job posting. So an example would be join our team at Cedars-Sinai, explore opportunities in nursing, IT, or research. Another category is professional networking. They typically have network posts where they organize conferences or like symposiums where researchers and healthcare executives can join and network. And then a third category is news updates. An example of that is Cedars-Sinai researchers made a significant progress in cancer immunity therapy trials. And here is a LinkedIn growth rate. LinkedIn is expected to grow about 200 million from 2024 to 2028. Premium LinkedIn user growth has shown to grow about 200 million users from 2019 to 2023. So every 3 to 4 years, they grow about 200 million. About 61 million people search for jobs in LinkedIn weekly. So that takes into account people who job search multiple times in a day. LinkedIn activity overview, companies typically use LinkedIn the most at 61 million users, 67 million users. Schools are a little bit less at 136,000, and then followers of those companies and schools are about 38.4 million. Now I'm going to pass it back to Johanna.
Thank you, Sarah. And then here is our LinkedIn flyer. And that will be it for our presentation. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any questions or need any clarifications, go ahead and ask us. Thank you.
Great job. Very smooth, very well prepared. Interesting statistics for sure. I can't believe it grows by so many. Amazing. But I guess that explains all the emails I get from LinkedIn. Okay, super. Let me remove your co-host privileges so I can give them to somebody else. Okay, and our last group for the day and for this semester is group 1. Are y'all all here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Grisha, do you want control?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, you should be able to load up now.
It's not letting me. It just says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Look again, that's not what I did. I gave you privileges. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me try again. Make co-host. Okay. Does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Grecia, and today we will discuss and explain the social media platform we chose, known as YouTube. These are the topics that we will be. Oh, I forgot to introduce my members. So our members are going to be Beef 2, Kosi, Vivian, Cassandra, and Chandra. And then these are some of the topics that we will be going over.
Hi, so just to go over some history and some background, YouTube is an online video sharing platform launched in February of 2005. It was actually founded by 3 former PayPal employees in the state of California. The purpose of kind of launching this app was to give ordinary people to enjoy sharing their home videos and just kind of give access on a world scale, just making it easy to create and upload and access videos. By the end of 2006, around October, November, Google actually bought out YouTube for $1.65 billion. Through that, YouTube kind of transcended through different aspects of entertainment, launching YouTube Music in 2010, and then with the rise of TikTok, launching YouTube Shorts in 2020. And it became the first social media platform to introduce its partner program, allowing creators to monetize their content through ads. And it continues to remain one of the world's leading video streaming sites with over billions of hours of content uploaded to date.
So accessing YouTube can be really easy. You can start off by creating an account. It is optional, you don't have to, but if you like to subscribe, like, or comment or share on any of the videos, you do have to make an account. You can go to YouTube and sign in with a Google account or just create one if you don't have it. You can search for videos, use the search bar at the top to find videos by entering keywords of phrases, for example, diabetes management, and then you can filter the videos by upload date, the type, or relevance, and then click on a video thumbnail to play the content. You can engage with the content. Like I said, you'd need a Google account or YouTube account just to subscribe, like, or comment, share on these videos. And you can also upload your own content, go live, and create shorts.
The role of YouTube in healthcare outreach. It improves accessibility and engagement. Videos are available at any time when patients need quick information, and it can be accessed through phones, computers, and tablets, and also you need Wi-Fi. It is educational. It consists of visual learning resources that explain complex topics at an easier level. It's also promotional, so organizations can make videos to promote services being provided by telling success stories from patients or highlight service lines. It brings health awareness, so it promotes health literacy by simplifying complex topics, and it encourages preventative healthcare by educating on diseases and raising awareness for early detection. And YouTube is also cost effective. So low advertisement costs. On average, YouTube ads can cost between 10 cents to 30 cents per view, and it can have organic reach. So videos must be creative and eye-catching to target the correct audience that will share videos with other social media platforms can be reached to gain views. Next.
Okay, as stated before, YouTube is also really accessible. It's free and it's easy to navigate for most users. There's a wide variety of content uploaded, and that allows for a wider scope of information to be shared. And above all, YouTube can be really educational in a healthcare setting. A lot of the videos are interactive and they allow comments, provide resources, and can even provide links to webinars and other things like that. The videos also blend visual and audio learning to cater to different learning styles. Complex topics can be explained through use of graphics. There's also a lot of potential to aid with language barriers with graphics, and closed captioning in various languages is also available. And it can also be used for training purposes, which can be really cost effective for an organization, and it can also reduce training expenses and also have more efficiency for the organization. An advantage of this is people can access their training videos whenever, whereas if they were training in person, they miss a key training point, they wouldn't be able to reference anything right away.
So when it comes to understanding how to use many different kind of videos, for example, education videos, You can create educational videos for others to watch, for yourself as well. There are medication instruction videos, and there are videos that help information become more accessible. Another example are instructional videos where you can help patients actually navigate through health organizations through one kind of video. And there are different kind of instructional videos on accessing patient portals, services, parking, all kind of administrative examples as well. And there are even patient success stories, and many people share their success stories to build trust and credibility. And you can even interview with patients who have undergone procedures or even treatments as well.
So next, it is important to consider the healthcare information one acquires from YouTube. So for source credibility, you must ensure the information comes from trusted sources such as licensed healthcare professionals, well-known medical institutions, or government health agencies. This way, you can be sure that the information is reliable and safe. So for accuracy of information, we have to be smart about significantly checking if the information is accurate, up to date. Since medical recommendations can change, always cross-check with other reliable sources. Additionally, YouTube has added panels to health videos to indicate whether the information comes from trusted medical sources. There are also health content shelves where YouTube organizes health videos into specific sections to make sure it's easier to find reliable content. And then all this helps ensure you're consuming and sharing trustworthy health content online. In conclusion, YouTube is a versatile tool that can make healthcare information more transparent, accessible, and personal by creating educational content, instructional videos, and sharing patient stories. We can enhance the patient experience. And that concludes our presentation.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
YouTube is, I think everybody uses YouTube in one form or fashion. I know I've got YouTube TV now, which gives me great irritation a lot. But I don't know. I just prefer the old way with the box, but it seems that Frontier doesn't want to do that anymore. But great job. I know it's always hard to be first and last, so good job. Okay, let me check and be sure I have everybody that's here. I think the Zoom user is probably Natalie that just popped in. Yep, change your name. Okay, so the people that I'm missing today, be sure I didn't just miss y'all, are Hillary and Trin. Are y'all here and just under a different name, or you're not here? Okay, good deal. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go over more of the proposal. And I will have these for those of you that missed last Tuesday or came in late. This will be, as soon as it is available to me, I will upload and send the link out. Okay, let's see if we can share the screen and go back to our proposal. Okay, can we see that, everybody? Natalie, can you see it?
Yes.
Yes, okay, super. That was the name that was on my mind since I just saw it flip. Okay, super. All right, thank you. All right, so what we went through yesterday or Tuesday was, I think we got as far as the company profile. Danny, do you remember where we stopped?
I believe we stopped the company profile, but I'm
Okay.
not 100% sure.
Okay, all right, super, thank you. All right, so if I'm repeating a little bit, then bear with me. What you're gonna have for the type of organization is you're going to, like, are you an AMPM clinic? Are you a plastic surgery clinic? Whatever you decide, your group decides that you want to do for your company, you're going to have, that's what's going to go there. It's the type of organization that it is. I am okay with it as long as it at least broadly touches on healthcare. I think I told y'all that I've had them on those oxygen places where you go and get various types of oxygen, which I really believe COVID kind of eliminated. I haven't seen those in a long time. I was always questioning about using those pipes and things or whatever those that you use on there, how well they're sanitized. I've had spa, wellness clinics. I've had, just a variety of creative businesses that people wanted to open. Okay, again, I'm pretty sure I talked to y'all about hours of operation, but this could be a real deal breaker. If you're a pediatric clinic and you stay open on Saturdays and Sundays, giving parents, young parents who work all during the week, an opportunity to take their children for even standard checkups on the weekend, it's a real boon for them. So that's, you need to consider your hours of operation and how they will entice your potential target market. Your scope of the line of service, this is there's a link there showing you what it is. Basically, what are you offering? Some companies have popped up. I've seen pop-ups that all they offer is Botox, so the scope and line of service is pretty linear. It's just like we offer Botox, we will puff it up in whatever areas you want puffed up, whatever happens to be. And those places, may or may not offer the ones that are medically approved for migraines and those kinds of things. But the scope of their line of service would be very, very much smaller than, let's say, a plastic surgery clinic or an orthopedic clinic or whatever it happens to be. So your clients served, who are you? Who are the people that you are aiming to serve? If let's say that you're an orthopedic surgery clinic, and then maybe you want to serve the high-end sports people, that would be one of them. And then also other people needing orthopedic repair of some sort. Now, location of clinics, I would say that it says clinics, but to make it easier on yourself, I would choose just one location, because for each location, you're going to have a floor plan, and that floor plan is going to have to be outlined on what you're using it for. So some of the places like Zillow and some of the realtors.com, they have floor plans of their businesses, but you would have to download it and then put what you're going to have. Each room needs to have the size of it and what it's going to be used for. For instance, maybe your reception area is 10 by 10, and then you would have in there, written in their reception area. So, I need to know what each of those rooms is going to be used for. Typically, the business that you find will have a floor plan if it's a business rental. If you've decided you're going to renovate an old home into a birthing center, because you feel like it would be more homey to have it there, you'd have to either create a floor plan. I don't know how you would get that information. Sometimes the floor plans are on file with the city, but you need to have a floor plan on what you would use each room for. Then you've got the location. You have to have a real place. It's an actual building, not one that you've just manufactured in your mind, but it's got to be one that's out there for rent or lease. And then you'll need to know all the things about it, like, what is the rental cost, or the leasing cost, what are the typical utilities. You can usually find that out. It usually has it on the website, or you can find it out from one of the local companies, whoever services them. Then you're going to describe your business. What is it that you're doing? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Now, this is a very easy answer. Profit status. You're either for-profit or nonprofit. Now, I'm going to give you my usual 2 minutes elevator speech on for-profit and nonprofit. It's really, every company has to make money. So just because you're nonprofit does not mean that you're operating in the red. Because if you were operating in the red, you would not be around for long. How would you like it if you graduated and somebody said, "Oh, we think you're wonderful and we want you to come to work for our nonprofit business, but we can't pay you"? Pretty quickly you would say, "No, I don't think that's for me." So the nonprofit and for-profit is a government, well, it's used for the IRS. And it depends on what you do with the leftover funds you have that determines whether you're for-profit or nonprofit. For instance, if you have a company and you paid all your bills, all your employees, everything's been paid for, and you have $100,000 left over at the end of the year. If you are for-profit, you're going to take that $100,000 and you're going to divide it up among your investors. And so that means that, they have made a profit off their investment. If you're a nonprofit, you're going to take the $100,000 and you're going to put it right back into the company. And it could be for maybe for a salary increase. I mean, I don't know exactly all the IRS rules, but it has to be used by the company, has to be, loaded back into the company where no one is making a profit off of it. You could use it like for new equipment, a new building wing, whatever it happens to be. So your status is, do you plan on having investors and then investors making money off your company? Or do you plan on it being nonprofit, meaning that the money that's left over goes right back in the company? And that's a very simplistic difference, description of the difference. Okay, the industry overview. These are links that give you examples. And AI and Google are wonderful at finding. You could just type in what company you're trying to do, like AM/PM clinic of some sort, a 24-hour clinic, and what social changes might affect it, and you get some information that way. The economic reimbursement, this can be vital for your survival, because changes in what health insurance will pay for can, really devastate your inflow of money. Changes in how it's done, where you have to hire more people to submit it, all these kinds of things. And if you look at this site, it's a government site, and it gives you examples of how economic reimbursement changes and how they affect companies. Okay, demographic changes. Demographic changes can entail a lot. An example might be, currently they're saying that people are choosing to have children later or not have children at all. Well, this might, at some point have a devastating effect on a pediatric clinic, because there's less clients being divided by the same amount of organizations. There's demographic changes can affect you also, like maybe you're in an area that has a lot of apartment complexes and, has a lot of young families. And then all of a sudden someone comes in and buys them all out and turns it into an industrial area. Well, that particular change, would take the many of your clients, if you're a family clinic, off to some other area. So there's all kinds of things that fall under demographic changes. Home care delivery changes. Nothing has changed home care delivery as much as COVID did. There had always been ZocDoc and places like that prior to COVID, but now they became very, very popular because people did not want to go into doctor's offices, because you might have gone in feeling bad and come out feeling worse. So a lot of changes took place because of that. Many years ago, when I was in elementary school, junior high, doctors actually made house visits, like in the old days on Gunsmoke. They didn't, of course, come in horse and carriage, but they did literally come to your home. They did their visits to patients in the mornings, and then in the afternoons, they held their office hours. Well, we've kind of come full circle. There are some companies that have started now. Instead of having offices, they actually come to you. They're pretty expensive, but a lot of people are willing to pay for it to not have to go into the doctor's office. So how healthcare is delivered has changed greatly. So you need to think about the company that you're creating. How are you going to want to deliver your services? Then there's regulatory and political changes that will make a difference also. Some things become deregulated, other things become more regulated. So There again, you can look at examples, or you can type into Google what your company is and are there any political changes going on or in the offing or in the future to get some information. Key success factors. You can get this information from, this is one site you can get it. You can also get it from Glassdoor. I think the Department of Bureau and Labor Statistics has some information like that. There's a lot of places you can get the information. And remember that you're going to have references in this as you're answering these questions in the text, and also a reference list at the end. These are the kind of things you can use for references, where you get this information. Okay, barriers to exit in your segment of the industry. There's a lot of things that can create a problem for you if you just want to shutter your doors. Some of them are like, if you've been in business 6 months and you just cannot get out of the red, you're just operating every year, every month you go deeper into debt, then and you just want to shut it down and say, this is a mistake, I'm done. Well, some of the barriers to exit would be, the lease agreement you've signed. You're not going to be able to just shut it down and say, I'm done, I can't afford to pay you anymore. They will come after you. If you've accepted money, if you have patients in the pipeline that are under your care, and you've accepted money from any of the insurance companies, government agencies, they're going to make you finish that, or you're going to have an exit plan where some other company is willing to take them off. Excuse me. So there's a lot of things that can affect your just shutting your business down. It's not just a personal decision. Are we good on this? Any questions on industry overview and how you can get your information? Okay. All right, service overview. What is your new service overview? What makes it unique? What are some unique features? What are you offering that the competition or that you've seen around doesn't offer? One thing might be, let's say for instance, and the reason I keep using plastic surgery clinics is because there's so many opportunities to make yourself different there, because it's not a service that is typically paid for by insurance unless it's reconstructive. So let's say you want to really cater to high-end clients. So you have a limo that picks up the clients and drops them off at the back door out of the view of, paparazzi, whatever it happens to be. Or, you have, you offer 3 days complete privacy as opposed to having it done in a day and sent home, So what are you doing different that's going to make people want to use your product or your service? Maybe you're offering a new kind of Botox, or maybe you're offering a new kind of laser surgery that is innovative and not available everywhere. So what makes you unique? What value do you provide to your key target market? That's going to be dependent upon what you're doing. But what makes these values are what makes them want to come to you instead of a more established business, or to come to you instead of your biggest competitor. And then what are the benefits of this new service proposal? What makes this a better choice for your potential target market? And how is this new service positioned against existing services by others? So you just kind of do a scan of the local market, and you see what they're offering, what they're not offering, and how is this, is it making you a better choice? And then what are you doing differently? So a lot of these questions are intermingled, and you may have some repetition, but this kind of singles it out. So what are you doing differently? Well, maybe you're keeping hours 8 to 10 at night, or maybe you're offering on-call service, or whatever it happens. Maybe you've got a online component. So what makes you different from the typical company? Now, the competitive analysis, you're going to choose one company that's in the area that you want to have your business. And again, I don't care where you decide you want to have your business. You can have it in Timbuktu, Alaska. But most people have it locally because it's much easier to get the information. So what competition is in the area? Describe what they offer and be honest about it. Are they offering, what do they offer that you don't? Or what do they not offer? So describe their basic, and you can bullet this if you want. Anything that looks like it can be bulleted, you can bullet it. Be sure that you have cite your references on where you got the information. And then what makes them different from you? The point of differentiation, what would be something that people would maybe choose to stay with them or choose them above you? And what the real value did they deliver to the customers that others do not? And you can glean that from looking at their website, from looking at their reviews. And healthcare businesses are reviewed on Yelp. They're also reviewed. There's some healthcare websites that do nothing but review healthcare businesses. And then describe their customer profile. You can look at their website and you can see what services they offer. And then you can also look again at the people who evaluate them, and you can determine what is their typical customer profile. For instance, if they were a clinic that specialized in acne for teenagers or people with acne of any type, then their typical profile would probably be ages, 12 to 25 or something. Not that that's their only clients, but that would be their typical person that would use it. And then other types of services also have typical people profile. Now, I've talked to y'all before, I think, about if you remember from your statistics and you have graphs, and they'll tell you to look at the graph, and they'll put a bunch of points of data in there, and usually they'll follow along a line, and they'll all be pretty close to that line. And then, but you might have one that's just up there all floating around by itself. And that is an atypical outlier. And so that doesn't mean you won't have outliers in your business, but there's going to be a typical client that most businesses have. And to give you a more down-to-earth expression, if you don't remember from your statistics the definition of outlier, let's say we're looking, and I love trucks. So let's say we're looking at a Ford 150 Raptor that's got a lift kit on it. Okay, so that truck is going to be typically 6 inches taller than the rest of them. Your typical user is probably going to be someone between the ages of, 25 and 50 or whatever it happens to be. Someone that wants the truck to, they want to go out mud dogging or whatever they want to do with it. So that's going to be your typical user. But they also, you have to throw in there, can they afford that truck? So you look at what your typical user is, and typically you're going to have this group along this line. Then you're going to have somebody that's way up, not even near that line, and that's going to be an outlier. That might be somebody like me. I love my truck, and it is taller than most, but most people don't want to bother with it once they get over 45 or 50 climbing up in a truck like that. So I would be considered an outlier, because if you were to look at the typical purchaser, they would be someone different than me. So that's what an outlier is, someone that would not typically use the product or service, but they do have it. And so you'll have some of those outliers also. Okay, then you're going to detail their pricing strategy. They have to let you know what it costs before you do it. You can't just go in there and say, oh yeah, we can do this and this, and not tell you how much it's going to cost. Most places will have some sort of a pricing page, or it'll be on their website. But if you can't find it on the website, then you can just call and tell them that you would, you'd like to find out what their costs are. And they should be able to give you a list or fax, email it over to you or something along those lines if it's not showing up on their website and your research doesn't locate it. Okay, what is their marketing approach? A lot of businesses that have been around a long time, their approach is word of mouth. Some of them use social media, but maybe they don't go too far beyond that because they have plenty of business. I knew a guy in this little town outside of where I'm from in Texas, and he had a hamburger place, and he was busy all the time. This place it looked like a hallway. It was tiny. It had not changed since my parents had been dating. And this same guy was running this place up until probably 10, 15 years ago. Anyway, it had not changed a bit. And if you asked him how business was, he'd say, "Don't want no more." That was his typical answer. So if you were to look at somebody's marketing approach for that, it would be one thing: word of mouth. So what is their marketing approach? Do you find ads that they put out there? Are they on social media? Or do they just go strictly on clients advertising for them? Okay, why do customers use them or buy the product? So again, you'd have to figure out what makes them better than everybody else and what is appealing to the customers. Sometimes it might be something so simple as that they've got a great track record, you know? But look and see why someone would use them. Maybe their hours are better. Maybe their location is better. So, you know, what are some of the things? And you can look at the different values that could go there. And then we've talked about SWOT. You've talked about SWOT in your other classes. So what are the opportunities or threats to your organization? And you know that opportunities would be maybe they're not doing something you think you could do pretty easily. So that's an opportunity. A threat might be they've got some high-end laser machine that you cannot possibly afford to purchase. Is it going to keep enough of the business away from you to tarnish your opportunities? Okay, questions so far? Okay, the place where you have to find, again, an actual building that's up for rent. And you have to, with that building, you need to have at the very least a floor plan. And the floor plan needs to be labeled. Then what are the costs associated with this? And those costs, think outside the box. The cost of the lease, the cost of janitorial services, the cost of maintenance. Maybe all that's included in the lease price. Sometimes it is. The cost of utilities, all those things. What is insurance? What are going to be the costs for you to use this type of delivery? Okay, what is the marketing advantage of this location? If you need to look at your target group and why would it be advantage to be there, and what your business is. Advantages could be the location is right off 5 major freeways, or it's right on the bus line, or it's you know, in a shopping mall where people would just stop in if you have, you know, that kind of a business. What are the advantages of that location? And as far as competitive advantages, that would be, are there other businesses doing what you're doing within a mile? What, you know, and do those businesses have the same competitive advantage that you do? And then are there exit issues with this distribution strategy? Again, this is back to lease on machinery, lease on your building, patients in the pipeline, those kinds of things. Okay, pricing. Now, you can't, I know that all of us love nurses and think they should be paid a lot more than what they're paid, but you cannot consider that when you're opening a business. You need to look at what the typical pay scale is for the various jobs, and you can get that information from the Department of Labor Statistics. You can get it from Glassdoor. There's a number of places where you can find out what salaries are being paid. Can anybody tell me what FTE stands for? Anybody know that's been out in the working world? Okay, it's full-time equivalent. These are employees that are full-time employees. So this would be the ones that are going to be working for you 8 to 5 or whatever you deem full-time. So what's it going to cost? It's going to cost their salary. Excuse me just a second. It's going to cost their salary. If you're going to offer benefits, and you know the law says you have to have benefits if you're, I think it's 10 employees or less. You do not have to, but I'm not sure on that. So are you gonna have to pay benefits? If so, are they gonna work for you for 3 months before they have access to benefits, or you can give it to them immediately? You know, what are some of the, what are the costs involved in hiring your full-time employees? Okay, overhead, that is a indirect cost, meaning that you cannot directly bill anyone. You cannot tell your patient that they're going to have to pay $10 because that's 1/100th of what your rent is. You know, that overhead is going to have to be paid regardless of whether you have one single client or one single patient. You're going to have to pay for rent. You're going to have to pay for utilities. Overhead is everything that cannot be billed directly. Typically, you cannot bill your receptionist directly. You can bill your LVNs, your RNs. Those can be, you know, if done right, can be billed. But indirect costs, things that cannot be covered by direct billing. Okay, your margin, there are calculators out there on the web to determine your margin of how much money you're making and what percent is going out and what's coming in. Number 4 is a very easy answer. How are you in regards to your competing services? Are you less than them, about the same, or more than them? And sometimes you can be more than them because you offer services that they don't have the equipment for, or you offer services that they don't offer, like you go to them instead of them coming to you. So that would put you probably higher. So it's a real easy answer, low, medium, or high. Okay, your delivery plan. You're going to have how are you going to deliver your service? You're going to have a flow chart that shows what happens to a patient once they contact you or a client. The flow chart will look just like other flow charts. It'll start out, let's say, with the initial contact, and then you may have 2 different boxes coming off of it. One might say that they come in for a visit, and the other one might say that it can be handled online, or that they're, you know, said they'll contact you again if they want to use your service, whatever. And then you're going to follow them through their trail through your business. So let's say that they come to you. What's the first thing that happens when they come to the office? Do they get taken to a room, blood pressure gets taken, intake, basically? Or, you know, what happens after that? You know, did they see a doctor? Did they see a physician's assistant? You know, all the way through until they're discharged from you. So I want to see what your plan is on how patients or clients will be handled. Clinical protocols and descriptions of best practices, you can get those from, again, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Glassdoor. Any number of places will tell you typical clinical protocols. And if you have some that are different, add those in. Description of best practices, those are out there on the web for almost every occupation you can think of, and every business. Cost analysis, again, this is you're looking at direct versus indirect overhead. Now, the money, obviously this is not a company that's operating. So how are you going to figure out your typical overhead, your typical costs? You're going to have to look at, there's a lot of summaries, proposals out there, executive summaries. You can find one similar to your business and see what their typical amount of money is, what's reasonable as far as what comes in and what goes out. And then you can gauge what you're going to estimate your money will be coming in and going out. And that's where you're going to get your costs as far as what's coming into your business, because you really probably have no concept of how much money you should be making the first month, the second month, but you can find that information on the web. And this has got a little calculator on this website. Okay, and then here's the flow chart I was talking about. What requirements do you have for full-time equivalent? What, do you need 2 full-time RNs and, 1 physician's assistant and 1 doctor? Or what do you need? Do you need a receptionist? Do you need a bookkeeper? Or is the receptionist going to serve the purpose of being the bookkeeper also? And you can get all this information by looking at researching on the web and seeing what typical businesses your size would use. You cannot start out with 10 bookkeepers. You may someday have 10 bookkeepers, but that's not going to what you're going to start out with. Space requirements. This is where your flow chart comes in. Not flow chart, I'm sorry, your floor plan. This is where your floor plan comes in. What do you require? You're going to have the size of the rooms and what's going to be in each room. Okay, your human resource plan. You have clinical and you have non-clinical. Your receptionist will typically be non-clinical unless you're operating a very, very small business where 1, 2 people are running the whole business. Maybe your doctor is like, I have a dentist right now who just recently, his receptionist quit, and so he's actually doing everything himself, billing and, the dentistry. And if he needs a temp to help with like a particular procedure, he just hires a temp for the day instead of paying somebody full time. So you can also have that as an option, that you're going to have temps come in once a week for bookkeeping or whatever it happens to be. The compensation that's the rate of that you're going to be paying. What are the benefits? Then you're going to have the rate you're going to pay, and their salary. What are their benefits? What are their job descriptions in detail? And what are their roles and responsibilities? And those roles can be dictated by you because you're hiring them. Now, I wouldn't say that you can say that your receptionist has to take blood pressure because, you probably want to have someone that's at least been trained in that area, or draw blood if you need blood samples or whatever it happens to be. But look at what the typical roles and responsibilities are for each of the people that you have working for you, and that's where you're going to get that information for each potential employee. Okay, you have to have a balance sheet and an income statement, and you can find examples of those on the web, and it does have to look like a balance sheet. And again, the expenses paid will be your things like utilities and insurance and salaries, all those kinds of things. The money that's coming in, you're going to have to guesstimate that by looking around on the web and what's typical. Promotional expenses, that'll be a guesstimate. Startup costs, you're going to have to figure out what it's going to take to get that business, just the doors open. And those startup costs could include, leases, utilities, anything that you need to open your doors. Okay, and that's actually it. Now, I know it seems like a lot, and it is, but don't go into panic mode because I'm giving you'll be having time during class. You will be having, I will give y'all a day off periodically. You have Thursdays off typically to work on this. The deal is, on Thursdays when we don't meet, everyone should be available. So there should be no reason why your group cannot meet. Y'all can do it on a Discord or on wherever, Google Meet or wherever y'all want to do it. There's absolutely no reason why everyone should not be available on Thursdays from 8 to 9:15. So there shouldn't be anybody saying, well, I can't meet things, so I've got this or that or another. So you should be able, I haven't had any complaints from this class on people not meeting or not getting along or whatever it happens to be, and that is just wonderful. But that being said, if you have someone in your group that just doesn't want to meet, doesn't want to do their part, don't wait till the end to tell me. Text me, email me, tell me what's going on. Maybe I can light a fire. I am not an instructor that gives credit for someone just because they're in a group if they're not doing the work. Everyone needs to pull their part. So I will back you 100%, but I have to know about it to back you up. Okay, that being said, do we have any questions?
I don't.
All right, Danny, thank you. Anybody else? I guess I must have done a pretty good job explaining. There are some also on the module page, there are some PowerPoints, and I'm going to double check, be sure they're still there, that Canvas didn't do away with them, that describe this in detail also. If you need to go back and look at a particular area, I'll be sure those are up there today sometime. Sorry. And let's see what else. That kind of sums it up. I'm always available to y'all. We do have class again on Tuesday next week. Any questions at all?
Professor, can I add something?
Sure.
If you guys are having a hard time creating that whole overview, there's also an example in the modules.
Super. Super, super. I thought I put one up there. Great. Thank you for checking. Okay. Anybody else? All right. We have 15 minutes. I'm going to open up the rooms if y'all want to just meet for a little while and try to get kind of brainstorm. But I'm not requiring you to meet because we've had this been a pretty long week. But I'm going to open up the area, and once you're through meeting, y'all can you're free to go. I'm not going to pull you back in here, and if your group doesn't need to meet, that's okay too. I think this group has 5. So I'm going to put it up here to self-select, and then it's up to y'all how long you want to meet. Y'all have a great weekend.
Have a great one, Professor.
Thank you.
Professor, I had a question.
Sure.
For office hours, do I have to text you to schedule an appointment?
Yeah, well, let me know, because since they're online and they're not, I don't necessarily have to stick to that. Just if we can find a time that's convenient to both of us, that's when we'll meet. Unless you want to meet in person. If you want to meet in person, then like in my office, then we'll have to set up a time and I can. It's kind of like my office hours. I probably wouldn't want to be there at 7 in the morning in
No,
the
that's
office.
okay. We could do online. I just wanted to make sure if I should text you or email. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Just let me know. Do you want to set up a time now?
Sure. Are you available anytime on Monday?
Let me look. Hang on. It depends on the Monday. Hold on. This coming Monday, let's see, is the 21st. I have a meeting at 10 and a meeting at 2. I could do like 8 o'clock, or I could do let's see, the meeting at 10 to 11:30. I could do like at noon, either in person or on campus. Or like probably 4 in the afternoon. What works best for you?
I think 4 sounds perfect to me.
Okay. All right. What I'd like for you to do is I'd like to get your phone number, because sometimes these meetings last longer than they should. So I'm going to put you in right now for the 21st, Cassandra, at 4. And let's see. And trying notes. Okay. Can you tell me your phone number? Do you mind?
714
Okay.
468
Okay.
0486.
Okay. 714-468-0486. Okay. And you have mine, so if something comes up and you can't make it or something, just let me know. And I will send you a Zoom.
Okay, thank you so much.
You bet. All right.
Have a good one, Professor.
You too, Cassandra. Natalie, what's up? Natalie, are you there?